Let me start by saying, I never planned to fall in love with my straight best friend. That's a lie we tell ourselves, isn't it? I never planned it. As if love is something you can schedule, like a dentist appointment or an oil change. But here's the truth. I knew I was in trouble the moment Cameron Price walked into my college dorm room freshman year. All messy blonde hair and athletic build, with a smile that could probably end wars. Hey, you must be my roommate. I'm Cam. He dropped 2 massive duffel bags on the empty bed and extended his hand. Fair warning, I snore. I'm obsessed with coffee, and I will 100% steal your food if you don't label it. I shook his hand, trying not to think about how warm it was. Jordan, I don't snore. I also love coffee, and I literally never remember to label anything. So, may the best man win? He laughed this genuine, full-bodied laugh that made his eyes crinkle at the corners. I think we're going to get along great. He was right. We did get along great. Too great. That was 6 years ago now. We're both 24, living in a shared apartment in Seattle. Cam works as a physical therapist at a sports clinic, and I'm a software engineer at a tech startup. We've maintained our friendship through college graduations. Failed relationships, mostly his, with a revolving door of beautiful women. And my 3-month disaster with a guy named Trevor who turned out to be married. In the general chaos of early 20s life, everyone always asks if we're together. You guys have such great chemistry, they say. Are you sure you're just friends? And I always laugh it off because what else can I do? Cam is straight. Capital S, straight. The kind of straight where he once spent 20 minutes explaining to me why he thought prime rib was the most masculine food while we were at a steakhouse. The kind of straight where his browser history is probably just sports highlights and home improvement tutorials. I accepted this a long time ago. Cam was my best friend, and that was enough. Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. The night everything changed started innocently enough. It was a Friday in late September, and Cam had invited some friends over for drinks. His buddy Marcus from the clinic, a guy named Joel from his gym, and Marcus's girlfriend Stephanie, who I actually really liked because she didn't do that thing where straight girls treat gay guys like accessories. We were all sitting around our living room. A few beers in, when Stephanie brought up her cousin's wedding. It was beautiful, she gushed, but also kind of sad. Like Sarah's been with Josh for 8 years. 8 years. And I kept thinking, when do you know? Like, really know that someone is your person? When you can fart in front of them without shame, Marcus said solemnly. Stephanie smacked his arm. I'm being serious. So my comfort is everything. Joel, who'd been quiet most of the night, spoke up. I think you know when you'd rather be with them doing nothing than be with anyone else doing something exciting. We all turned to look at him. Damn, Joel, Cam said. That was actually deep. I have my moments. Joel shrugged. What about you, Cam? You've dated like a lot. Ever felt that way about anyone? Cam was quiet for a moment, swirling his beer. Then he looked directly at me, and something in his expression made my heart skip. Actually, he said slowly, yeah, I have. Stephanie sat up straighter. Who is it someone we know? Cam's eyes were still on me, and I suddenly felt like I couldn't breathe. It's that complicated. Complicated how? Marcus pressed. Complicated. Like, the person doesn't know how I feel, and I'm pretty sure if I told them, it would ruin everything. My stomach dropped. Cam had feelings for someone. Of course he did. He was probably talking about Sarah from his clinic, or that barista from the coffee shop he visited every morning. Or is she in a relationship? Stephanie asked. Cam finally broke eye contact with me. It's not a she. The room went silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Actually, you could have heard a pin thinking about dropping. Marcus was the first to speak. Wait, you're into a guy? Cam rubbed the back of his neck his tell when he was nervous. I guess, I don't know. I never thought about it before, but lately I've been... Yeah, holy shit, Joel said. Does he know? No, and he's not going to. Like I said, it would ruin everything. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Cam liked a guy. Cam, my supposedly straight best friend, liked a guy and hadn't told him. Why would it ruin everything? Stephanie asked gently. Because he's my best friend. We live together. If I tell him and he doesn't feel the same way, which he probably doesn't, then everything gets weird. I'd lose him. I can't lose him. Oh my God, oh my God. Was he talking about me? No, that was insane. Cam had plenty of male friends. He could be talking about literally anyone, but then he looked at me again. Just for a second, and the expression on his face. I think that's beautiful, Stephanie said. Scary, but beautiful. You should tell him I can't. Why not? Because what we have now is perfect, and I'd rather have him in my life as a friend than not have him at all. Marcus, bless him, tried to lighten the mood. Okay, this got way too heavy. Who wants another beer? The conversation moved on, but I couldn't focus. My brain was stuck on repeat. Asterisk, was he talking about me? He was looking at me. But that doesn't mean anything, does it? Holy shit, what if asterisk around midnight, everyone left, and Cam and I started cleaning up? That was fun, he said, tossing empty bottles into the recycling. Yeah, my voice came out weird. Hey, that thing you said earlier, ... He stiffened. What thing? About having feelings for someone. Your friend Jordan, can we not? Was it me? The bottle he was holding slipped from his hand and shattered on the kitchen floor. Shit. He knelt down immediately, starting to pick up the pieces. Cam, wait! You'll cut yourself! I got it! Cam, just leave it, okay? His voice was sharp in a way I'd never heard before. I grabbed a dish towel and knelt beside him anyway. Talk to me. There's nothing to talk about. You just dropped a bottle because I asked if you had feelings for me. That seems like something. He sat back on his heels, a piece of broken glass in his hand, not looking at me. You're my best friend, Jordan. I know. It's the most important person in my life. I know. And I don't want to lose that. My heart was hammering so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. You won't. You can't promise that. Yes, I can, because... I took a breath. Because I feel the same way. His head snapped up. What? I've had feelings for you since college. Oh, Cam. I just never said anything because you're straight, and I didn't want to make things weird. I'm not straight. You. What? I don't know what I am, he said quietly. I've never looked at guys before. Never been attracted to men. Just you. Only you. For like the past year, maybe longer, I don't even know. But I wake up every morning excited to see you. I plan my day around when you'll be home. When you started dating Trevor, I was so jealous I could barely function, and I kept telling myself it was just, I don't know, friend stuff. But it's not. It's so far from friend stuff, Jordan. I couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't do anything but stare at him. So yeah, he continued, I was talking about you. And now you know, and everything's going to be weird. And I kissed him, right there on our kitchen floor, surrounded by broken glass and empty beer bottles. I grabbed his face and kissed him. He made a surprised sound, then melted into it, his hands coming up to grip my shoulders. The kiss was everything I'd imagined for 6 years, and nothing like I'd imagined at the same time. It was messy and perfect, and tasted like beer and hope. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Cam's eyes were wide. Oh, he said. Yeah, that was... yeah. Can we do it again? I laughed and kissed him again, softer this time. We should probably clean up this glass first, right? Yes. Glass. Sharp. Bad. He looked dazed. Did that really just happen? I think so. Cool. He stood up, pulling me with him, then immediately pulled me back in for another kiss. Okay, now I'm sure it happened. We cleaned up the broken bottle in a daze. Stealing glances and occasional kisses, both of us grinning like idiots. Oh, Cam said when we finally finished. What happens now? I don't know. What do you want to happen? Honestly, I want to take you on a date. A real date. I want to figure out what this is. He paused. Is that okay? That's more than okay. Good, because I've been planning our first date in my head for like 6 months and I really want to actually do it now. You've been planning a date? Jordan, I've been planning like 12 dates. I have a whole list. It's color-coded. I burst out laughing. You made a color-coded list of dates you wanted to take me on while thinking I didn't know you had feelings for me. I'm very organized, he protested, and optimistic. Mostly delusional, but also optimistic. I love you, I said before I could stop myself. His expression softened. Yeah, have for a while now. I love you too. He pulled me close. This is insane, right? We're really doing this? Seems like it. Thank God. I was running out of ways to casually touch you without being obvious. Cam, you were not subtle. At all. What? Yes, I was. You literally give me a massage every Sunday while we watch TV. That's just friend stuff. You play with my hair? I'm just admiring the texture. Last week you asked if you could practice holding hands with me. Because you wanted to improve your hand-holding technique. He had the decency to look embarrassed. Okay, in my defense, that one was after 3 drinks, and I was desperate. I kissed him again because I could now. Because this beautiful, ridiculous man was apparently mine. Come on, I said, taking his hand for real this time, not for practice. Let's go to bed. His eyes widened. Like, ... together? Just asleep, you horn dog? We should probably take things slow. Right, slow. I can do slow. Paused. How slow are we talking? Cam, just asking. Setting expectations? We did take things slow. Sort of. That first night, we fell asleep in Cam's bed, wrapped around each other, both of us too wired to actually sleep much. We spent most of the night talking about everything we'd been holding back. All the little moments that had meant more than we'd admitted. Remember that time in sophomore year when I had the flu? I asked, and you were convinced you were dying? I had a 102-degree fever. You also made me promise to make sure your funeral had an open bar. The point is, I continued, you stayed up with me for 3 days straight. You missed your biology exam? I told you it was no big deal. Cam, you were pre-PT? That exam was a huge deal. Why did you really stay? He was quiet for a moment. Because I couldn't stand the thought of you being sick and alone. And I kept trying to tell myself it was just what friends do. But Marcus had the flu last year and I just texted him feel better and sent him a DoorDash gift card. I'm better than a DoorDash gift card. You're better than everything. The first week after we got together was like living in a dream. We went on our first date dinner at a Thai place, followed by a walk around Green Lake. Then our second a Mariners game where Cam spent more time looking at me than the actual game. Then our third cooking dinner together, which ended with us making out against the refrigerator till the smoke alarm went off because we'd forgotten about the chicken. Work was torture because all I wanted to do was be home with him. I'd catch myself grinning at my computer screen like a lunatic, thinking about the way he'd kissed me goodbye that morning or the text he'd sent me at lunch that just said thinking about you. The heart. Moccasin and Stephanie were thrilled. Joel seemed confused, but supportive. And Cam's family? I need to tell my parents, he said one night, about 2 weeks in. We were curled up on the couch, my head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. I tensed slightly. Are you worried about how they'll react? I don't think so. My mom's pretty chill. My dad might be surprised, but he's not. I don't think he'll be upset. He paused. But also, I'm 24. I'm not asking permission. I'm just telling them I'm happy, that you're dating your male roommate, that I'm dating the love of my life who happens to be my male roommate. My heart squeezed. Love of your life? Too soon? No, perfect timing, actually. Called his parents that Sunday. I sat next to him on the couch, holding his hand for moral support. Hey, Mom. Yeah, everything's good. Listen, I have something to tell you. No, I'm not dying. Mom, please stop CATASTROPHIZING ... I'm dating someone. No, you don't know her. Because it's not a her, it's a him. Mom, are you there? I could hear his mother's shriek through the phone from 2 feet away. Mom, breathe. Yes, I'm serious. ... His name is Jordan. Yes, the Jordan. My roommate Jordan. Mom, why are you crying? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm happy. Really happy? Can you put Dad on? Hi, Dad. Yeah, so Mom probably just told you. Dash huh, dot dot. Yes, we're still going to Thanksgiving, dot dot. Dad, are you laughing? Why are you laughing? He pulled the phone away from his ear and looked at me. My dad apparently told my mom 2 years ago that he thought we were already dating, and she bet him $100 we weren't. What? He says he's collecting his winnings, and we're invited to dinner next weekend, too. Celebrate. The call ended with his mom demanding. To talk to me, I assured her I would take good care of her son and his. Dad asking Cam if he wanted the family ring when. The time came, Cam turned bright red and said, Dad, it's been 2 weeks. My own parents were less surprised. My mom literally said, Oh, honey, we've been waiting for you two to figure it out for years. I almost said something at Christmas, but your father said to let you work it out yourselves. Everything was perfect. Suspiciously perfect. Which is why I should have known something was about to go. Catastrophically wrong. It happened. 3 weeks after we got together, I'd had a brutal day at work, one of those days where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. A major bug in our code, a client meeting that went sideways, and my laptop deciding to update itself right before a presentation. I texted Cam around 3 p.m. Asterisk, worst day ever. Can't wait to come home to you. He replied immediately. Bad day protocol activated. I'll have dinner ready. Love you. Asterisk. The love you still made my stomach flip every time. I left work at 5:30 p.m. Earlier than usual, desperate to just be home. The entire train ride, I fantasized about collapsing onto the couch. Cam's arms around me. Maybe watching something mindless on Netflix while he played with my hair. I got to our apartment around 6:15 p.m. Unlocking the door quietly in case Cam was on a work call. He sometimes had evening sessions with clients. The living room was empty. I could hear music coming from his bedroom, some indie playlist he'd been obsessed with lately. Cam, I called out. I'm home. No answer. I frowned and walked toward his room. The door was slightly ajar. Hey, I texted, but you didn't. I pushed the door open, and there was Cam on his bed, with a guy who was definitely not me. My brain short-circuited. I couldn't process what I was seeing. Cam looked up, saw me, and his face went white. I'm sorry. I turned and walked straight out of the apartment. I didn't run. I walked. 1 foot in front of the other, like a robot, down the stairs, out the building, down the street. I didn't know where I was going. Didn't care. My phone started ringing immediately. Cam. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined. Text message. Jordan, please let me explain another. It's not what you think another. Please come back. I turned off my phone. I ended up at a bar about 10 blocks from our apartment. Ordered a whiskey. Drank it. Ordered another. Rough day? The bartender asked. You have no idea. My phone was still off, but my smartwatch was buzzing constantly. Messages from Cam. Then Marcus. Then Stephanie. I ignored them all. How could he? How could he do this to me? 3 weeks. We'd been together for 3 weeks, and he'd already... God, I was so stupid. Of course this was too good to be true. Of course Cam would realize he'd made a mistake. He'd been straight his whole life, and then suddenly he's with me. And obviously he'd want to experiment to see what else was out there before committing to Jordan. I looked up. Marcus was standing in front of me, breathing hard, like he'd been running. How did you, Stephanie, track your phone? Which you turned off, by the way, giving us all heart attacks. He slid onto the bar stool next to me. Cam is losing his mind. Good. Jordan, I don't want to talk about it. That's fine. But you need to listen. Marcus, the guy you saw. That was Brandon. Cam's coworker from the clinic. I really don't need details about who Cam is sleeping with. He wasn't sleeping with him, you absolute walnut. Marcus signaled the bartender for water. Brandon just came out to his family, and it went really badly. Like his dad kicked him out, badly. He showed up at your apartment sobbing, and Cam was trying to comfort him. I stared at Marcus. What? Brandon has been crashing on Cam's floor for the past 2 nights. Cam didn't tell you because Brandon asked him to keep it quiet until he figured out his next move. Oh God, oh God. I was an idiot. When you walked in, Marcus continued, Cam was literally just hugging him. The guy was crying. That's it. That's the whole story. I put my head in my hands. I didn't even let him explain. No, you didn't. You saw something that looked bad, assumed the worst, and bailed. Which, by the way, is super out of character for you. I panicked, clearly. Marcus pushed the water toward me. Drink? Then we're going back to your apartment, and you're going to talk to your boyfriend, who's been pacing a hole in your living room floor for the past hour? I drank the water. Then I paid my tab, and Marcus and I walked back to the apartment in silence. Cam was sitting on the couch when we came in, his head in his hands. He looked up when he heard the door, and his eyes were red. I'll just ... Marcus pointed to the door. I'll be at my place. Call if you need anything. He left, and it was just Cam and me. I'm so sorry, we both said at the same time. You first? I said. I should have told you about Brandon. I know how it must have looked. But I swear, Jordan, nothing happened. Nothing would ever happen. You're it for me. You're the only one I know. You do? Marcus explained. And even if he hadn't? I moved closer. I should have stayed. Should have let you explain. I just saw you with someone else, and my brain jumped to the worst possible conclusion because part of me is still convinced this is too good to be true. What do you mean? I sat next to him on the couch. Cam, you're perfect. You're funny and kind, and everyone loves you. And I'm just ... me. I keep waiting for you to wake up and realize you could do so much better. Are you insane? He grabbed my hands. Jordan, you're the smartest, most incredible person I've ever met. You make me laugh every single day. You understand me in ways no one else does. When I'm with you, everything makes sense. You're not just you. You're everything. I was crying now. When did I start crying? I'm sorry I didn't trust you, I said. I'm sorry I didn't tell. You about Brandon? I should have... Is he okay? He will be. I told him he could stay here as long as he needs. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. I leaned my head on his shoulder. I love that you did that for him. That's who you are. You help people. I love you, he said quietly. I love you too, even when I make really bad judgment calls about what information to share. Even then, I kissed him softly. But maybe next time give me a heads up before I walk in on you with another man. Deal, though, for the record, you walking in on me comforting a crying friend is probably better than what you thought you were walking in on. Yeah, I may have overreacted slightly. Okay, massively. He pulled me into a proper hug, and I breathed in the familiar scent of his cologne. We're okay? We're okay. Good, because I already told my mom about this, and she wants to know if she needs to come up here and have words with you. Her words, not mine. I laughed into his shirt. Your mom is terrifying. She really is. Brandon ended up staying with us for 2 weeks. He was a quiet guy, mid-20s, with dark hair and sad eyes. The first few days, he barely spoke. Just apologized constantly for being in the way he wasn't, and offered to leave we wouldn't let him. But gradually, he opened up. I knew my dad wouldn't take it well. He told us one night over pizza. He's old school. Very traditional values, but I thought maybe he'd surprise me. That he'd choose his son over his beliefs. I'm sorry, Cam said quietly. My mom just stood there. Didn't say anything. Just let him. Brandon's voice cracked. Anyway, thanks for letting me stay. I've been looking for apartments, but everything in Seattle is so expensive and stay as long as you need, I interrupted. Seriously, we have the space. Jordan's right, Cam added. Plus, you make really good coffee. That's worth at least a month of free rent. Brandon smiled, the first real smile I'd seen from him. You guys are disgustingly happy together. You know that, right? We get that a lot, I said, reaching over to take Cam's hand. How long have you been together? About a month officially, Cam said. But we've known each other for 6 years. Best friends to lovers? Brandon asked. That's so rare. Most people are too scared to risk the friendship. We almost were, I admitted. but I'm glad we took the risk. Me too, Cam said, squeezing my hand. Brandon did eventually find a place, studio apartment in Capitol Hill, that he could afford by taking on extra shifts at the clinic. The day he moved out, he hugged us both tightly. Thank you, he said, for everything. Not just the place to stay, but you guys showed me what's possible. That I can find that too someday. You will, Cam assured him. And in the meantime, you have us. Friday night dinners are mandatory. Mandatory? You heard him, I said. Cam's rules. We'll be checking attendance. Brandon became a regular fixture in our lives after that. He and Cam had always been friendly at work, but now they were genuinely close friends. And I loved seeing Cam in that light. The way he showed up for people, how he made everyone around him feel valued and seen. You know what's funny? I said to him one night after Brandon had left. What? The thing I was most scared of you with someone else ended up bringing someone really good into our lives. Brandon is pretty great, Cam agreed, though not as great as you. Smooth talker, I try. He kissed my temple. But seriously, I'm glad you gave me a chance to explain that night. I was terrified I'd lost you, could never lose me. I'm annoyingly persistent. Good, because I'm planning on keeping you around for a very long time. How long are we talking? Like, ... forever. Is forever too presumptuous after only a month? Forever sounds perfect. Of course, not everything was perfect. About 2 months in, we hit our first real rough patch. It wasn't about trust or feelings, it was about something much more mundane. Living habits, turns out. Dating your best friend and roommate means you can't escape the little things that drive you crazy about them. Cam, I said one morning, staring at the bathroom sink, why are there beard trimmings everywhere? I cleaned up. He called from the bedroom. Got maybe 60% of them. The other 40% are staging a coup in the sink. I'll get them when I get home from work. You said that yesterday. And I will get them. When I get home from work, this became our pattern. Little annoyances that built up, him leaving cabinets open, me leaving my laptop charger in random places, him insisting we needed to meal prep every Sunday, we never stuck to it. Me staying up too late, working, and accidentally waking him up. It came to a head one Thursday evening. Can you please just put your dishes in the dishwasher instead of the sink? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. I was going to do them after dinner. You say that every night. And I do them every night. At 11 p.m., yes, when I'm trying to sleep and you're crashing around in the kitchen. So what? You want me to do them immediately after eating? While I'm still full? I want you to just, I don't know, be more considerate. His expression hardened. More considerate, right? Because I'm so inconsiderate. That's not what I meant. Sounds like what you meant. Cam, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe living together and dating was a bad idea. Maybe we should have thought this through better. The words hit like a physical blow. Do you really think that? He ran his hands through his hair, clearly frustrated. I don't know what I think. I just know that we're fighting about dishes and it feels ridiculous. And I'm tired. So am I. We stood there in the kitchen, the tension thick enough to cut. I'm going for a walk, he said finally. I need some air. Left. And I stood there, staring at the offending dishes in the sink, wondering if he was right. Had we moved too fast? Were we better as friends? My phone buzzed. Stephanie * Cam just texted Marcus. You guys okay? Me, I don't know. We had a fight, Stephanie. About me, dishes. Stephanie. ... dishes. Me, I know how it sounds. Stephanie, honey, every couple fights about stupid stuff. It's normal, me. It doesn't feel normal. It feels like we're falling apart. Stephanie, you're not falling apart. You're adjusting. There's a difference. Talk to him when he gets back. Actually talk, not just argue. * she was right. When Cam came back an hour later, I was sitting on the couch waiting. Hey, he said quietly. Hey, I'm sorry I stormed out. I'm sorry I snapped at you about dishes. That wasn't really about the dishes. He sat next to me. What was it about? I think I'm scared. This thing between us is so important, and I keep waiting for something to go wrong. So when we fight about normal couple stuff, my brain interprets it as this is it. This is where it all falls apart. Jordan, he took my hand. We're going to fight. About dishes and bathroom cleaning, and how to load the dishwasher, and whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It absolutely is. See, we're already fighting. But that doesn't mean we're falling apart. It means we're human. I know. I don't want to lose you. You won't. I promise you won't. He pulled me close. But we need to figure out how to live together as a couple. Set some ground rules, maybe? Actual ones. Not just be more considerate, which is too vague. We spent the next hour making a list. Dishes go in the dishwasher immediately after meals. I'd work in the living room after 10 p.m. if I had late-night projects. He'd clean the bathroom sink after shaving. We'd meal prep every other Sunday, not every Sunday, because that was more realistic. This feels very adult, I said, looking at our list, right? We're like functioning adults with communication skills and everything. Should we put it on the fridge? Absolutely. With magnets. Very official. We did put it on the fridge. And honestly, it helped. Not perfectly. We still occasionally bickered about things, but we had a framework now. A way to address issues before they became big problems. 6 months into our relationship, Cam took me back to the Thai restaurant where we'd had our first date. Nostalgia trip? I asked as we sat down at the same table. Something like that. He seemed nervous, fidgeting with his napkin. You okay? Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something. Hey, my stomach dropped. That sounds ominous, no? It's good. At least, I think it's good. I hope it's good. He took a deep breath. Our lease is up in 2 months. Right, I meant to talk to you about that. Should we renew? Actually, I was thinking, what if we didn't? My heart sank. Wait, no. He grabbed my hands across the table. Not like that. I mean, what if we found a new place? Together. A place that's ours, not just the apartment we happened to be living in when we got together. Something we choose as a couple. Relief flooded through me. You want to get a new apartment together? I really do. Maybe something with more space? And actual closets? And a kitchen where we don't have to fight for counter space? That sounds amazing, yeah. His face lit up. Because I've been looking at listings, and I found this place in Fremont that has 2 bedrooms, one we could turn into an office and it has a view of the ship canal. And there's this great breakfast place nearby in Cam. Yeah. Show me the listing. He pulled out his phone so fast he nearly dropped it. Okay, so look at this kitchen. We spent the rest of dinner looking at apartment listings, making plans, imagining our future together. And for the first time since this all started, I wasn't scared. I was just ... happy we moved into our new apartment in early March, exactly 7 months after we got together. The place was perfect, bright and open, with huge windows overlooking the ship. Canal. 2 bedrooms, one converted into an office with space for both our desks. 1.5 bathrooms, no more fighting over sink space. And a kitchen with actual counter space, and a dishwasher that didn't sound like it was eating rocks. Moving day was chaos. Marcus, Stephanie, Joel, and Brandon all showed up to help. And somehow we still ended up with boxes in every room and no idea where anything was. Why do we own so much stuff? Cam asked, staring at a box labeled Kitchen Misc. Because you refuse to throw anything away? I said, that's rich coming from the guy who has an entire box of cables for electronics he doesn't even own anymore. Those might be useful someday. It's been 6 years, Jordan. They're not going to be useful. You don't know that. Marcus laughed from where he was assembling our new couch. You two are like an old married couple. Like we're not old, Cam protested. But you are acting married, Stephanie pointed out, which is adorable. That night, after everyone had left, and we were surrounded by half-unpacked boxes, Cam and I ordered pizza and sat on our new couch. This is really ours, I said. Looking around, this is really ours, he echoed. Our first place together. How does it feel? Terrifying. Amazing. Right? Yeah. He pulled me close. All of those things. I fell asleep on the couch that night, too tired to even make it to the bedroom. When I woke up in the morning, sunlight was streaming through those huge windows, and Cam was looking at me with this expression that made my chest tight.
What?
I asked. "I'm just really happy," he said simply. "Me too. Glad you walked in on me that day with Brandon." I laughed. "That's a weird thing to be glad about." "I know, but think about it. If you hadn't, we wouldn't have had that fight, and we wouldn't have learned how to actually communicate, and we might not be here right now. I think we would have ended up here anyway. Maybe just with a few more detours." "True." He kissed my forehead. "Want to go check out that breakfast place I mentioned? The one you've been obsessing about?" "I don't obsess. Cam, you've brought it up literally every day for 2 weeks, because they have the best pancakes in Seattle. According to one Yelp review, a very detailed Yelp review. We went to the breakfast place. The pancakes were, indeed, very good. It became our Sunday tradition. Our 1-year anniversary fell on a Friday. Cam had been acting weird all week, secretive, constantly checking his phone, disappearing for errands that he wouldn't explain. "Are you having an affair?" I joked on Wednesday. "Yes, I'm having an affair during my lunch break between client sessions," he said dryly. "Very efficient scheduling, then. What's with all the mystery?" "You'll see." Friday arrived, and I came home from work to find our apartment transformed. Candles everywhere, fairy lights strung up, soft music playing, and the smell of something delicious coming from the kitchen. "Cam?" I called out. He emerged from the kitchen wearing an apron that said, "Kiss the cook, a gift from his mother." "You're home." Perfect timing. What is all this? Our anniversary dinner. I made reservations at 3 different restaurants and then canceled all of them because I realized I'd rather be here. With you? In our place? He gestured around. Too much? It's perfect. Dinner was incredible. He'd made my favorite pasta dish. Somehow nailing it despite claiming he couldn't cook. He could. He just pretended he couldn't, so I'd cook more often. After dinner, we moved to the couch with wine. "I can't believe it's been a year," I said. "Technically, it's been a year since we made it official. But it's been 6 years since we met. Best 6 years of my life. Same." He set down his wine glass. "I got you something, Cam. We said no gifts." I know what we said. But I saw this and I couldn't not get it. He handed me a small box. Inside was a key knot, a regular key, but a custom-made one. With our initials engraved on it and the date we moved into this apartment. "It's symbolic," he explained. "You already have a key to the apartment, obviously. But this is, I don't know, a promise? That this is our home, that we built this together." I was definitely crying now. "I love it." "I love you. I love you too." He paused. "I also got you a backup gift, in case the key thing was too cheesy." "There's a backup gift?" He pulled out his phone and showed me a photo. It was a puppy, a golden retriever puppy, with the goofiest expression. "You didn't." "I didn't yet. But I found a breeder, and there's a puppy available, and I thought, maybe we could, if you want. We have the space now, and I know you've always wanted a dog." And I kissed him, cutting off his rambling. "Yes. Obviously, yes." "When can we get him?" "Her? Actually. And next weekend, if we're serious." "I'm very serious. We're getting a dog. We're getting a dog." We spent the rest of the night looking at puppy supplies online. Making lists of names, we eventually settled on Pancake after our Sunday tradition, and planning how we'd train her. "This is really happening," Cam said as we got ready for bed. "We're like actual adults. With a dog and an apartment and everything. Scary, right? The best kind of scary." He pulled me close. "Thank you." "For what?" "For taking a chance on me?" "On us. For not giving up even when things got hard. Thanks for being worth it." 18 months into our relationship, Cam started acting weird again. Not anniversary surprise, weird. Different weird. Nervous, weird. He'd start to say something, then stop. He'd check his phone obsessively. He took 3 separate walks to clear his head in 1 week. "Okay, what's going on?" I finally asked. "And don't say nothing, because you're being super obvious." "I'm not being obvious." Cam, yesterday you asked me if I was happy. 3 different times. In one conversation, I just wanted to make sure. And this morning you asked me how I felt about the future. In a way that sounded like a philosophical question, but was clearly about something specific. He sighed. I'm bad at secrets, the worst. Okay, fine. Close your eyes. What? Close your eyes. I'm doing this now because apparently I can't wait, and also I'm going to have a heart attack if I don't. I closed my eyes. Heart pounding. I heard him moving around. Then, okay, open them. He was on one knee holding a small box, looking absolutely terrified. Oh my God, I said. Jordan. His voice shook slightly. I've been trying to plan this for weeks. I had a whole speech. I was going to take you to the place where we had our first date, or maybe the coffee shop where we used to study, or back to our old apartment, or Cam. But the truth is, it doesn't matter where I ask you, because wherever you are, that's home. That's where I want to be. He opened the box. Inside was a simple gold band with a small stone. This was my grandfather's ring. He gave it to my dad, who gave it to me when I told him about us. He said, when you find someone who makes you want to be better, who makes you laugh even on your worst days, who you'd rather be with doing nothing than be with anyone else doing something, that's when you give them this ring. I was definitely crying. Full-on tears streaming down my face. You're my best friend, he continued. You're my partner. You're the person I want to come home to every single day for the rest of my life. So, Jordan, will you marry me? Yes, I managed to choke out. Yes, obviously yes, you ridiculous man. He slid the ring onto my finger, then stood up and kissed me, both of us laughing and crying at the same time. Pancake, who we'd adopted 6 months earlier, chose that moment to jump on us. Apparently also excited about the engagement. We're engaged, Cam said. Sounding dazed? We're engaged, I repeated. My mom is going to lose her mind. She's been asking me when I was going to propose for like 6 months. Your mom knew? Everyone knew. I'm not subtle, remember? The least subtle person in the world? But you love me anyway. I really do. We called our families that night. My mom cried happy tears. My dad gave me advice about marriage that mostly boiled down to communicate and also learn how to fix things. Around the house, because contractors are expensive, Cam's mom screamed. So loud we had to pull the phone away from our ears. Then demanded we come to Thanksgiving so she could celebrate properly and also start planning the wedding immediately. Marcus and Stephanie came over with champagne. Brandon sent a text that just said "finally" in all caps, followed by about 50 heart emojis. That night, lying in bed, Cam playing with the ring on my finger, I thought about how we got here. A random roommate assignment 6 years ago, months of hidden feelings. 1 night where everything changed, fights. About dishes and boundaries and learning how to be together, building a life, piece by piece. What are you thinking about? Cam asked. How lucky I am. I'm the lucky one. We can both be lucky. Deal. He kissed my temple. I can't wait to marry you. I can't wait to marry you too. Think we'll still be this happy in 50 years. I think we'll be even happier. More annoying, probably, but happier. He laughed. I can live with that. 5 years later, we got married the following summer in a small ceremony at a vineyard outside Seattle. Both our families came, plus all our friends. And Pancake was the ring bearer. She did great until she saw a squirrel mid-ceremony and nearly derailed the whole thing. 5 years after that, we're sitting in the same apartment. Now with 2 dogs, we got a second one, named Waffle, 3 years ago. And Cam is working from home while I'm on a video call. Some things have changed. We both have different jobs now. Cam opened his own physical therapy practice, and I'm a senior engineer at my company. We've talked about moving to a house, maybe starting a family someday, but the important things haven't changed. We still have Sunday breakfast at the pancake place. We still fight occasionally about dishes. Some things never change. We still end every day the same way, curled up together, usually with at least one dog trying to squeeze between us. Hey, Cam says, appearing in the doorway of the office. Meeting done? Just finished. What's up? Remember Brandon? Of course. How is he? He's engaged. What? That's amazing. To who? Some guy he met at a coffee shop 6 months ago. Apparently, they just knew. He grins. Reminds me of someone. We did not just know. We were best friends for 6 years first. But when it happened, we knew. Fair point. I save my work and close my laptop. You know what's crazy? What? If I hadn't walked in on you that day with Brandon at literally the worst possible moment, we might never have had that fight. And we might not have learned how to really communicate. And we might not be here. Butterfly effect, Cam says. One awkward moment leading to everything. The best awkward moment of my life. Sammy pulls me up from my chair. Come on. Pancake and Waffle need a walk, and I need to spend time with my husband. Your husband, who you see literally every day because we work from home. Yep, that one. Still not sick of him yet? Give it another 50 years. Challenge accepted. We head out for a walk, dogs pulling on their leashes, the Seattle sun actually making an appearance for once. As we walk, I think about how different my life is from what I imagined at 24. Sitting in that apartment, convinced I'd spend my life pining after my straight best friend, I was wrong about so many things. But I was right about the most important one. Cam was worth the risk. Worth the fear and the uncertainty and the possibility of losing him, because the thing about real love is that it's always a risk, always a leap of faith, always a choice to be vulnerable with someone and trust they'll catch you. And Cam? He's been catching me for 6 years, for our entire friendship, for every moment of doubt and fear and joy. What are you thinking about? He asks, noticing my expression. Just that I'm really glad you're bad at keeping secrets. If you'd been better at hiding your feelings, we might have wasted more time. True, he takes my hand, though I don't think of it as wasted time. Even the years before we got together, those mattered. They made us who we are. Look at you being all philosophical. I contain multitudes. You really don't. Rude. I laugh and kiss him. Right there on the sidewalk, like we've done 1,000 times before, and we'll do 1,000 times again. Because this is my life now. This beautiful, messy, perfect life with this beautiful, messy, perfect man. And it all started with one awkward moment, one misunderstanding, and the courage to take a chance on something terrifying and wonderful. Best decision I ever made. The end. Thank you for reading Jordan and Cam's story. May we all be brave enough to take chances on love, even when, especially, when the timing seems all wrong. Asterisk.